So far in the video series, we've talked about creating databases and setting options on databases and so forth. And what I want to do now is give you a real quick run through on creating tables. Databases is where we store our data, but tables, the individual tables, is where that data actually resides. And I want you to see me go through this process of creating one, because this is going to become very important a little bit later on when we talk about how SQL Server stores data. There are some tricks that you can do to really tune your database here. So notice a couple of ways. I'll show you both ways here to create a table. First of all, in the sales database that I created earlier in the video, I will right-click Tables and choose New Table. Now we're getting into the world of schemas here. Keep in mind that I logged in under Windows Authentication, so I basically came in as administrator, and administrator is mapped by default to the DBO schema. So any table that I create will be in the DBO schema. And I'll talk about that in just a few minutes, and I'll show you a couple of things we can do. But for now, I'm going to put first name for the first column, and we'll make this varchar 25. Notice this looks very Access-like. This popped up when I did the new right-click and did new tables here. Notice I can decide whether or not this column is going to allow nulls or not. Notice down here I can make changes in the properties window that pops up at the bottom, and I can choose these. And so I'll leave this. Notice something they added this time, varchar max. And that comes out to varchar 8000, but I'll take it back to what I had, varchar 20 or whatever I had. Oh wait, I'll have to do varchar here. Yeah, and then set it up here to varchar 20. So now let's go on with the other columns. Let's put last name in here, and again we'll do varchar 20. And you'll also notice I could choose those right here. Choose that. Change it to 20, and then I'll just put the state. And notice with this one, we'll put character, and we'll put 2 characters in here, and we'll allow nulls on the state. So once we've done this, a couple of things I can do. I can hit the X here and close out, and it'll ask me if I want to save. Or I can go to the toolbar and click Save Table, and it will ask me. And now I will just put employee, so that'll be the name of the table, and I click OK. They just save the table. You'll notice something very interesting. Sometimes your table won't show up here. It did here because I wanted to demo that it wouldn't. That's the way it always works. Anytime something doesn't show up over here in the Object Explorer, I can right-click in the Object Explorer and choose Refresh, and it will go refresh them. Now notice I can now close this out. It created my employee table for me as part of the DBO schema. So I can expand this and see my columns. And there's the columns I created. Notice it showed me my varchar, the fact that it accepts nulls. This one is not null. Now, that's a basic table. What if I want to work with this idea of schemas? What if I want to create a table in another schema? Well, I'll show you right now the easy way to do this, and I'll just do a new query, is I will simply say create table, and this time I will do shipping. But the shipping table I want to be in a different schema, and I have a schema out here. If you'll notice down here under schemas, I have one called Mark. And so all I do is put the name of that schema in front of the table name. And now with shipping, I'll put type, and I'll put that it'll take varchar 12. And if I spelled that right, it would help. Then we'll put weight, and this one we just want integer in there. Got to put a weight in here. And then I want to put instructions. If there's any special instructions, and we'll put 50 in there. Then we will close it. And now if we execute this, if I did it right, notice my command completed successfully. So I'll right click, refresh, and notice now you see the marked shipping. Now, this is the first time in the course we really see the schemas come into play, because now I want to select everything from, say, the parts table. Okay, so I type select asterisk from parts and I execute. There's my information. But what if I try to pull from shipping? And I execute that. it's going to tell me I don't see anybody named shipping. I'll have to tell it that it's in that mark schema, and now it'll go grab it and bring it. But notice I don't have any data in the table. Okay, now I can move tables from one schema to the other, but there's a transact SQL command for that. You can go out and look at schemas in the documentation to see that. So you get an idea there. If when you're creating tables, you can put them in different schemas, and of course we can move them later. And keep in mind, I can set permissions on this schema, or I can set permissions on the table itself. So all I've done now is created tables and started to put data in those tables. Okay, the parts table already had data in it, and in the next video I'll give you some more information on tables.